Guys, the interviews keep on coming here on the ESPN FC YouTube channel, and so does the Carlos Vela hype train. Herc, I know you'll be very, very happy to hear about that. The most recent interview, our colleague Fernando Palomo speaking with Alessandro Del Piero, and yes, the topic of Carlos Vela potentially playing in Europe came up.
Sí, creo que sí, que tiene posibilidad. Es perfecto para aquí, para México y también para el sudamericano como tipo de jugador. Ma ahora para mí tiene también la cualidad de jugar en Europa, sí, porque está muy fuerte físicamente también y buenísimo con la izquierda, ¿no? Como se dice.
All right, Herc, I'll start with you. What do you think? Is there some substance to what Del Piero is saying, or is he just being nice because he was asked about Vela in an interview?
He's just being nice? Is that what you're saying? Where was he linked to about a year and a half ago?
Barcelona.
So he's good enough for Barcelona, but you're having doubts if he's good enough for Del Piero, if he's just saying it because he wants to be nice. Listen, he can play. He can play at a very good level in Europe. He doesn't want to play. That's the reality. Like, he doesn't want to play for the Mexican national team. He doesn't want to play in Europe right now. He is happy where he lives. He is happy where he trains. He is happy where he plays, which is Los Angeles. And his football shows it. You look at what he's done in the last 2 seasons in Major League Soccer. Last year was historic, 34 goals, 15 assists. Say what you want about the level, but I think he's proven that if he wanted to, at this age, at 30 years old, that there's a place for him in Europe. There are many people like you that just can't fathom that. I can't fathom you're wasting this opportunity. I can't fathom you don't want to play with the national team. It is who he is. He wants to be happy. Let it go, Seb. Let it go.
Very well. I'll let it go. Craig, what do you think? Could Carlos Vela make an impact at a Champions League club in Europe right now today, coming off playing in MLS?
I'll tell you what I think. I wish somebody would send you to Europe. Once these
I would want to be there, unlike Carlos Vela. I would accept the challenge.
Once these restrictions are lifted, you'd be the first on the plane on a one-way ticket. So, listen, I've got a vision of Fernando Palomo chasing Alessandro Del Piero down Fifth Avenue, shouting, "Talk to me about Carlos Vela. Talk to me. Talk to me about Vela." And he's like, "I don't want to talk to. I don't want to." But you know, how does his name keep popping up? His name keeps popping up for some reason. I don't know what it is. I doubt he wants to go back there at this moment in time. He's been there. He's seen it. He had a good and bad time. He was pretty good for Sociedad second time round. Mm-hmm. Didn't work for him at Arsenal as a younger player. His fits and starts. Has certainly worked for him in LA. So I always think when you're on a good thing, no matter what league you're playing in, why spoil it? You know, why chase something that maybe you're not so interested in? So, you know, I think he's been impressive here in the States in Major League Soccer. Clearly he's a good player. And I kind of think, why would you go? What does he need to go back to Europe for at this point?
You don't think he has anything to prove, Craig?
Well,
you mentioned the time at Arsenal, the time at Sociedad, which kind of fizzled out. I mean, you don't think he has something to prove still in Europe?
Depends on the individual, doesn't it? I mean, proof to who? I mean, proof to himself. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, I think his spat with Zlatan was really enjoyable, and I think it lit a lot of fires. Certainly lit a couple of fires up Zlatan's backside as well when people were talking about it. But he's on a good thing here. I presume they're paying him really well. He's living in LA, which is, Herc will tell you, although he's not looking too well at the moment, Herc, with that beard. It's a great place to live. Temperature's great. Everybody adores him from the LA point of view. So, I don't know. I think sometimes we get hung up on, I need to go back and prove myself there. You know, sometimes it's not about that.
Sure. I think the production here makes people think, well, he could produce something over there, right? You score 34 goals. That's a pretty big number. Herc, you mentioned something about MLS. I want to read you a quote, see what you think about it. This is from Oswaldo Alanis, speaking specifically about Carlos Vela and Major League Soccer. He says, the league is competitive. However, in the defensive sector, there are still aspects that need improvement, things that favor a player like Vela. Let me ask it this way, Herc. Do you think Carlos Vela has gotten better since he came to Major League Soccer, or has he benefited from what Alanis is pointing out there?
I think both, because confidence has a lot to do with how good you are and how much better you can perform. And obviously he's playing with confidence. You talk about Carlos Vela like he had a slouch career in Europe. I will remind you that the season he broke out at Sociedad, there were only 2 players better than him in La Liga, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi.
Better than him at what? Better than him at what?
Voted by his peers, voted by the press. That's you conveniently leave that fact out.
So one group's opinion that he was the third best player,
and his peak was rubbing shoulders at that level. Now Carlos Vela, fast forward here,
6 years ago. 6 years ago, you're saying
that doesn't change the facts, Seb. You have this. I don't know if it's a hatred or animosity towards Carlos Vela because he spurned your national team. He doesn't want to play for Mexico. How dare you? Why don't you want to play for the Mexican national? So you factor that in. All of a sudden is Carlos Vela is making $6.5 million to live in Los Angeles, to play soccer in Los Angeles, to play football in Major League Soccer, and you want to nitpick at every single thing of why he is a failure instead of just saying.
I asked the question what level he could play at in Europe. That's not nitpicking, Herc. I'm asking you what level he could play at in Europe because Del Piero said he can play in Europe.
It's not nitpicking.
That's me making an agenda.
6 years ago was his last season.
It was his last great season you referenced was 2013, 2014.
That's nitpicking. I'm telling you the level of play he had, and you're nitpicking of the dates.
Let me ask you this.
He's good enough to play in Europe, Seb.
Do you think he's better now than 2013, 2014?
No, because look where he was doing it back then. I don't even know how that's debatable. I mean, for as confident as he is, look at who he was playing against back then, where he was, and what he did. That's still to date his best season. You can't make me think 34 goals in Major League Soccer is going to be equivalent to what he did that year.
Very well.
I think a couple of things could be true here, and just to go back to Hert's point is Carlos Vela is, like others, taking advantage of the structure of Major League Soccer, and that structure being is let's go for the flair, let's go for the big name, let's go for the goals.
Let's not go for the defenders.
Goals matter, Goals. That's all that counts. And the defensive aspect of the game is somewhat, not totally, but somewhat negated. And he's taken advantage of that. Hey, fair play. The other side, and Herc touched on it, is confidence. There's nothing better for you when you're the love of the crowd, and you turn up to training. You're the most respected guy in the training field. You're the first name on the team sheet for a match on a weekend or whenever it is. The crowd are chanting your name. Your chest puffs out. You're going to get the best out yourself. Think about yourself. If he's getting booed by the LA crowd, his chin will be on the floor. What's it like for you when you walk into an FC studio and I'm booing you? Nichols booing you.
I boo you too.
Ali Moreno's not even there. He's booing you.
He's throwing stuff at you. It's tough. It's not easy. So he is the darling of where he's playing at the moment, and that's why one of the reasons we're seeing the kind of performances we're seeing. Could he go and play in Europe? Of course he could go and play in Europe. Would we see the same return in goals? No, we wouldn't. But that doesn't mean he couldn't contribute. And anyway, on the last note, on this lockdown segment here with you two, I'm sick to the back teeth of talking about Carlos Vela.
You don't even have back teeth.
Well, okay. I've got some teeth hovering around there that I borrowed from Paul Mariner. So next time, get on a different subject and tell Fernando Palomo to stop chasing Alessandro Del Piero down the street asking about Carlos Vela, because I bet he never even knew who Carlos Vela was before Palomo mentioned it.
Craig, the funny thing here is Seb likes to point out the Major League Soccer defensive deficiencies. Like in any other league in the world, the most paid players aren't offensive players. Like the priority aren't these offensive players. This happens all over the world. It's just magnified in Major League Soccer because there is public salaries and this salary cap.
Very well, Herc. Excellent point. We'll leave our debates for Carlos Vela for another time.
Well, I would say, but you can wrap this up again. I would say maybe Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and teams like that would differ, Herc, from that opinion, with the likes of the John Terrys, the Virgil van Dijks, the Vincent Companys, the
Those guys aren't going to come to Major League Soccer, though. Ever.
Oh, no. But no. I know that. I know that. Sorry, I didn't realise that was your point. My point was, I thought you meant they negated the defensive duties.
Oh, no. Correct.
Which clearly
Yes.
they don't. All right.
Just another lesson in why you should listen to the entirety of the segment, Craig.
Sorry, I'm a fail again.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.